Fucking stupid fly bastard. Ladies and gents, welcome to the All the Pies YouTube channel. This is our very, very first video. And I was just killing the fly there before I went live. I'm Sai. Joining me is this way, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Lurch from the Addams Family, the man who looks like 1,000 other people. It's Kevin. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for that lovely introduction there, I suppose. I'm surprised you didn't go for Rodney from Only Fools and Horses. That always a popular little dig of yours.
You've got your hat on, so I can't see your glaky hair.
It's my Raiders cap, yeah, because they're doing so terribly. So I thought I'd even up how well Newcastle are doing this season. Yeah, amongst other things.
So hello, Kevin. We're going to start a YouTube channel now, like everyone else is doing, all the other fans. We're going to start our own.
But bigger and better.
Yeah, bigger and better and funnier and more banter and none of this wet funny shenanigans. all about Newcastle United. We are warmy lads and all that carry on. So the first video is going to be the Liverpool match preview for tomorrow's game against Liverpool. Straight away, I've just been watching Eddie Howe's press conference and I've got breaking news written down on an envelope. Professional in that. So, injuries. It looks like Miggy and Maxi are both fit, which is great news. Wilson has been trained today, so don't know whether he'll start, probably unlikely. And Willock isn't going to be fit for tomorrow, but Eddie Howe said that his injury doesn't look too bad, so potentially we'll have Willock back for the final. What do you make of those?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming to a time of the season, when you really don't want to pick up injuries, i.e. post-January transfer window. We got rid of Shelby.
Is that what you
Sorry?
mean? When we didn't sign any midfielders, is that what you mean?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't think we complain too much. We've had quite a famine over the years under past regime of
I'm not
Mike
complaining,
Ashley.
but it would have been lovely.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. So, I mean, Joe Willock, I think, was the one that looked the most serious the other day when he went off. I'll be interested to see who will slip into that position. I've got a feeling you'll put Gordon in there for a replacement to Joe Willock. The Miggy one, I mean, it looked painful on the wrist, but unless you're Diego Maradona, you don't use your wrist to score goals. So we're up to the big man, RIP. Yeah. The Maxi one, I mean, you don't want to see. I look on some of the sites on and some of the pages that I'm on Facebook, and Maxi's been getting a little bit of a rough deal recently. Personally, I just think he needs to run of games. Coupled with that, I think we're playing a system that was really set out for Callum Wilson. And it's not the old system when we used to get the best out of St. Maximin. We used to sort of have that free role of running and taking on players, whereas now we're very much trying to get balls into the box. We see that a lot from Trippier, and I think that showed in the last game as well when Isaac was playing. It was kind of like that same setup that we have when Wilson's in the middle, and Trippier putting the balls in the middle. It doesn't seem that Isaac's having the same impact on as Wilson with that sort of setup. I'm not having a go at Isaac in any way, shape, or form. It's just, do we need to play a different system with him? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see Gordon coming in for Willock and seeing how we sort of utilise Isaac in the middle with what seems to be Maxi and Almiron on the outside.
Yeah, well, Maxi's has been getting stick, and it's because for years it was just Maxi was given that free role because he was the only flair player. He was the only player we had who could fucking spark anything, get out of our seats, create anything. He was the only creative player. Under obviously Eddie Howe, play a completely different format to Bruce. Thank fuck, obviously. But yeah, it just had to change the way that he plays, hasn't he? And he will need a run of games to do that. He's definitely going to need a run of games. But my worry is, are we a one-man team, or do we rely too much on Bruno?
I don't think we're a one-man team. I mean, we'll definitely miss him. I think the last couple of games show that. But, I mean, he's Bruno Guimaraes, he'd slot into any single Premier League team. So anybody's going to miss Bruno Guimaraes. The worrying thing is, if touch wood, this doesn't happen, I'm touching anything wood. If he picks up any kind of knock or, any sort of run of games which isn't suspension, then we're going to have to find an alternative to that and get used to that. He's definitely a miss when he's not playing. Everything goes through Bruno. He lifts the crowd. Even when he gets to what game was it where he got that tackle in and he was giving that to the crowd.
I think we're already 3-0 up, weren't we?
Aye, exactly. And he's an exciting player, and we all love him. So definitely he's going to be a miss. But, I feel like the last couple of games, we've probably had enough in backup to sort of get over the line with those games. It's a little bit worrying. Well, worrying. It's not worrying. We're not losing games. But I remember, towards the beginning of the season, we did go through a run of getting quite a lot of draws. And when we had the break for the World Cup, there was part of my mind thinking, are we going to sort of have that run again where it's going to be a little bit closer? But we turned it around the last time. We sort of turned those draws into wins, and I think we've got to have faith, and hopefully we'll start doing that again.
Would Shelvey have been perfect to slot straight in?
Perfect.
Keep the team exactly the same. Bruno out, Shelvey slotted in. Would that have worked? I personally think it would have worked.
Well, yeah, because he's been around the players. He plays that sort of similar sort of role. The only thing with Shelvey is that we all know he could be very hit and miss. You're not going to get the same from Shelvey that you get from Bruno, and I know you can see that about a lot of players. But with Shelvey, he can ping a ball like nobody else can. He can switch a play from left to right, but is that kind of the way that we're playing? I don't know. I don't know if it is. What I used to really love about Shelvey, especially under Bruce, is that you would have this really clever footballing brain where you would receive passes on one side and he'd try and keep passing it to that side to create that space. So on the right hand side, and then he had the ability to ping that ball across. Whereas with Bruno, he can pick it up anywhere in the middle, and he doesn't need to force them from one side or another. He can just play passes left, right, and centre. And, he's got a great relationship with Miggy Almiron. We saw the amount of goals that he was picking up. And would Shelvey have that same sort of connection with Almiron? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah. Apologies, anyone can hear a ferocious, massive, growling dog. It's a miniature sausage dog kicking off every time someone walks past the door. So
Vinny's trying to get in on the video.
On the YouTube fame. Right. Well, we'll come to the predicted lineup, the whole whether it's going to be ESM or it's going to be Gordon on the wing, which one of them is going to maybe have the number 10 role. One more thing I forgot to mention at the top, it would be Sir Bobby's 90th birthday today. So big happy birthday to him. Do you think, well, I know the answer, is this the most exciting it's been as a Newcastle supporter since Bobby Robson was in charge?
100%. 100%. Yeah, I mean, we did have that season under, I know you don't like us using the name Alan Pardew, where we did finish fifth.
Yeah.
And, when we had Denver Bar and CC playing up front, it was quite exciting then. But
Goodbye.
yeah, there was always a feeling that was never going to last. Whereas this time, it's exciting. And you're not looking saying, oh, well, how long is this going to last for? It's like when we're going to move on to the next step, and when this is the new Newcastle United. We're going to get more and more exciting, hopefully, as time progresses. So, 100%, it's really exciting times. And yeah, personally, I haven't been this excited since the Bobby Robson days.
No, I mean there was a little glimmer on that Rafa, but we knew that it was never going to. It was never going to get investment. It was never going to lead anywhere, was it? It was just something better than what it had been. Do you know what I mean? Under who was it? What's it called before Rafa? Fucking God.
The best coach in the Premier League.
Was it Carver? before him?
Carver, wasn't it?
Who was before that? What's McLaren? That was it, McLaren. Yeah, so it definitely is the best time it's been. It's great for obviously our kids both love going to the match now. You wouldn't tell by looking at how old we actually are. I'm not going to reveal that, but we do remember the Bobby days and the Keegan days. And yeah, it seems as exciting as that now. And now we can actually defend, which we could never really do.
I mean, we can't just defend. We've got the meanest defence in the league. You know, Botman the Rolls Royce, Fabian Shaw looks absolutely incredible. You know, I was watching in preparation to this. I was watching just some of the highlights from previous Liverpool games, just over the last couple of seasons, and yeah. Just looking at the defence and some of the goals we're conceding. I mean, I remember there was a Trent Alexander one last season that no defence or no goalkeeper was ever going to save. But then when I was looking at some of the goals that were conceded, I thought to myself, actually, this defence is better equipped for these sort of attacks. I mean, when we played them last season, it's in Jameson Park and we got beat 1-0.
Hey, mate. Vinny.
He's back chatting you.
Yeah, he's got.
When we played them last season at St James's Park, and I was, you know, I was having a look at the highlights back. It was they had a lot of chances. It could have been more than 1-0 that game. Whereas you compare that to when we played them down at Anfield this season, you know, the first half we looked really, really good, and you know, we took the lead. Should have been 2-0. Isaac got given offside for apparently. I don't know how true this is. I read that somebody said that his shadow looked offside. Now I didn't realize you could score a goal with your shadow, but what you read into that, I don't know.
We'll come on to that in a second. I'm just going to give the dog a treat to shut him up. Vinny, what's this? Oh, tasty. I'll have the rest of the package. Shut up.
Are you giving them Benson and Hedges there?
Aye. Giving them some Valium. No, animal cruelty is not allowed. Just a joke, everyone. Yeah, let's move on with some. We'll get on to the game itself. Here's some facts. Everyone's probably already aware of these facts. Obviously, we've only won once this season, and it was, of course, away at Liverpool with that mysterious VAR offside incident. And,
did you just say we've only won once this season?
Lost once this season.
No, you're definitely thinking about last season there, weren't you?
That mysterious VAR incident, and of course, the what was it? 900 minutes extra time, injury time that was on it. Also, Liverpool haven't won an away match this season since Boxing Day. We haven't lost a home match since April of last year against Liverpool. 1-0.
1-0. 1-0. Well, the omens look good, but you know, I don't know if it's just me. I get nervous for every game. Like, it doesn't matter who we're playing. And I don't know if this is just something I can't shake off from previous seasons, being under. But yeah, for years and years of it.
Munchausen syndrome or something like that. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but yeah, it's that. Yeah.
It is, and it is hard, and especially when you come up against teams such as Liverpool. You know, you try to be as positive as you can, and you think to yourself, yeah, we've got a really good chance here. But there's always that thing in the back of your mind that's just been drilled over the seasons that, yeah, you know, there's a chance we might get a bit of a stuff in here. But I'm slowly starting to get rid of that feeling, and. Yeah. And it's strange to us. It's weird to us because there is part of us going, well, should I be confident going into this? But you see the omens that you know in the stats that you've just read out there. Mm-hmm. I am a bit confident going into this one, and it's hard because I'm thinking to myself, should I be confident when Liverpool, although they're not going through a good spell of form, you know, over the past couple of months or so, especially post World Cup, they can still turn it on at any stage. Mm-hmm. You know, when you look at the individual players that they've got on there. They're going to create chances, but our defense is looking good. So I don't know how you're feeling about it.
I don't know. As far back as I remember, Liverpool have always been one of them bogey teams that we've never seemed to do well with, regardless of form. I've got the previous about 12 matches up here, and we've won one of them, and that was in 2015 at home. I believe that was that Paul Dummett's first ever goal, or am I thinking of something different? I'm sure it was. But yeah, after that we've drawn 4, lost 5, lost 8.
Good. Good. Yeah, that sounds promising, does it? But that's the old team. That's the old Newcastle United. We're a different prospect. We're a different prospect now. We've shown it when we've come up against the well, I hate the term, the big 6. It's the big 7 now, isn't it? But when we come up against those teams, not only are we're holding our own now, we're looking to win those games, and we showed that at Anfield. And like you said, the 1,000 minutes added time. If it wasn't for that, we would have came away with a draw. Do
you remember how angry we were that game?
I've never shouted a piece of technology more in my life than I did with my TV that day.
Wait, what the watch it on the projector, man? Or were you not there?
No, was that the Liverpool? No, that wasn't the Liverpool one. No,
you must
that,
have been there. Your daughter
oh,
was
no,
there.
I wasn't there. Right, oh yeah, my daughter was there. No, I was here watching it in the office, and my girlfriend recorded it to play it back to us, to ask us what's wrong with us. She says, why are you shouting and swearing? It's a TV set, they can't hear you. I was like, well, they can't, but the neighbours might. So yeah, no, it was really, 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 really frustrating. It took us back to the Keegan days, the famous 4-3s.
4-3s.
Stan Collymore scoring in the last minute. I think I had, even though I was younger, and I think I had a similar reaction, probably without the expletives.
But they were justified defeats, though. This didn't seem justified, did it? It seemed unfair.
It left a sour taste. I don't think we can complain too much, because at the time we felt like everything was going against us, and we said that VAR, it'll even itself out over the season. You get some, you lose some. It shouldn't be that way, by the way. It should be cut and dry. If you've got the review of a TV, referee's assistant looking at the TV, he should be able to get it now. With VAR, not trying to get into it too much, because that's a whole different video entirely. But yeah, there just seems to be this sort of debate. Now, I heard somebody who you absolutely love, Simon Jordan, say something the other day on TalkSport, which I actually agreed with. He was saying, the referee should be the person to instigate the VAR rather than the other way around. So if he's unsure on something, he should be right. Hang on a second. I'm not sure when the ball goes. I'm not sure if that was a penalty or not. Can I have a look at it on VAR rather than it being the other way around? Because it takes away that sort of thing of, was it clear and obvious? Was it a definite mistake? If the referee thinks to himself, well, I haven't gave that, but it was close. I was close to giving it. I wasn't close to giving it. He could then say, right, actually, do you know what it is? I'd like to have a look at VAR on that, especially, like the handballs and any penalty incidents. And I thought maybe that's a good way of sort of trying to restructure it, because then you're not having this fourth official, or fifth official, as it is, sort of, I don't know, like sort of saying, well, what's the referee thinking? Is it this? Is it that? Has the contact been enough for a penalty? If the referee's not sure, he should just put his hands up and say, actually, I'd like to see that again.
Yeah, well, like I say, that could take a long video if we're going to discuss VAR and all its ups and downs. But let's get back to this match. We've went through the previous games there. Some Liverpool team news. Apparently, Van Dijk seems fit again. Jota seems fit again. Diaz still out. Do you have the predicted lineup in front of you, Liverpool?
I do, yeah. Just get it on the other screen. Well, there seems to be a couple of variations depending on where you look. So what I'm seeing is obviously Alisson. We've got at the back Alexander-Arnold, Matip in the middle alongside Gomez on this one. So I think that's probably Gomez / Van Dijk. I know he was back in training, and it was going to be a bit touch and go for this game. So most of the outlets I've looked on, they seem to go for Gomez. So whether he's not quite up to scratch yet to start the game, I'm not sure. And then you've also got Robertson in the back. In the middle, it looks like they're going to go for Henderson, Fabinho, and Bakatic. and a three-pronged attack. Again, quite similar to like we set up, but they've got Salah, Gakpo, and according to this one, it looks like they might be going for Nunes again. Now, I know Jota's just coming back from injury, and
Yeah,
there
he'll
is
not
some
be match
outlets
fit, so
also.
he certainly won't start.
Who would you rather face?
I'm worried
Nunes,
that
okay.
Gakpo's. I know it's only one, but is that the start? Has he opened the floodgates with us one? If you're looking at the Gakpo of the World Cup, then yeah, I'd be terrified. But
Yeah, I mean,
has it been the Gakpo of the World Cup? Has it?
No, it hasn't. But it takes a while to get used to the pace of the Premier League. And like you said, he's opened up his account now. Is this the beginning? Is this the first domino falling for him to sort of put back-to-back performances and goals together?
Yeah.
Between Jota and Nunes, who I would rather face, I'd probably say Nunes. Now, I know the beginning of the season, me and you both were big admirers of Nunes,
It was
and
huge. I wanted us to go for him. I was 100% wanted that to be our show marquee signing. I did.
Yeah, I think we're both thinking that way because there was a lot of speculation at the time. In hindsight, are you glad we didn't?
I don't know because obviously Isak's been riddled with injury. Nunes does look good, but he's temper. This is one thing where I think we can. He looks susceptible to getting sent off. Lots of times he looks very susceptible to being wound up easily, and that is something that I hope we can then play on tomorrow. So if we go for our predicted lineup, obviously the back five remain the same. Matty Target is just starting to train. I think it'll be really unfair anyway if Burn to lose his place just for a couple of, a couple of errors when you look at the form of our defence, the one defeat, we don't ship loads of goals, we just don't do it. So yeah,
just before we move on from the back four, I read also that Matt Target was, he was starting to do a bit of light training again.
Yeah.
So you're definitely in Camp Burn for left back. Going forward, you wouldn't see Matt Target displacing them. I know he hasn't had the best couple of games. There's always going to be a blip in form. But you don't feel that Matt Target offers maybe a little bit more going forward on the left-hand side, sort of
maybe I was a huge,
what Trippier does.
Huge Target fan, Matt Target fan last year. Huge. I just obviously what Eddie Howe sees in training is what we don't see. So
yeah,
I think it will be really unfair of Burn to lose the shirt for Liverpool and especially the final. I think that would be.
Oh yeah, and I agree with that. To be honest with you, I would hate to see, because I mean, I am totally biased when it comes with Dan Burn. I think he's absolutely great. He's a local lad. He's had a brilliant season. He has been off the boil a little bit the last couple of games, but there's always going to be dips and form with players.
Is that down to Bruno not being there again?
I'm not so sure with Dan Burn, to be honest with you. I'm not so sure. I mean, he's not really the outlet on the left hand side that provides the same way Trippier does on the right hand side, and maybe you get a little bit more of that from Matt Target. But what I think is great is that the defensive duties that you get from Dan Burn, if we are under the cosh a little bit, or even if you've got, one of your centre backs going forward, like Fabian Shaw does, like a straightforward every now and again, especially from corners and stuff like that, he can slip back into a middle role if anybody's caught napping or anything like that. So I think from defensive duties, you get a lot more from Dan Burn. But I do think from Matt Target, you probably get a little bit more going forward.
Yeah. Right, well, moving on. So we've got the back five. Obviously, no question. It would seem that the back five are going to start the same. In the middle, we've got Longstaff, Miggy. Now, who starts on the wing? Is it Maxi or is it Gordon, in your opinion?
In my opinion, Maxi for the wing. Not that Gordon isn't good in that position, and maybe he could probably offer a little bit more in that position that Maxi has done in previous games. I just feel like he's a little bit more suited to a central role. If we're not going to have Joe Willock playing, we've got no Bruno Guimaraes as well. I think the middle has to be Longstaff with Joe Linton and maybe Anthony Gordon as well in that middle area. Like you see, maybe he's going forward in a little bit more of a number 10 role. But yeah, whereas Maxi in the middle of the park against Liverpool, not too sure about that.
So you'd have Maxi and Miggy on the wings, and up front, it's probably going to be Isaac. Wilson has trained today. Do you think you would throw Wilson back in?
Not judging by the comments Wilson said the other day, I don't know if you saw that or not. When he said, you know, it wasn't that I wasn't 100%. He says I was about 80%. But what I don't want to do is, because I think it was a slight hamstring, and you know, you don't want a slight hamstring turn into a major hamstring. And what I think he said something along the lines of, if I'm only 80%, whereas in the past I would have, you know, said I was fit enough to play and then tweaked something and been out for longer. Nowadays, if I'm only 80%, I'm not going to play. So I think a lot of it's coming from Wilson himself. He's probably made that exact mistake in the past. And, you know, if it's a case that, you know, he's 85% and he's scared he's going to tweak something, it has to be Isaac.
Yeah. I would love to see Isaac bury a couple. I would absolutely love it. So that moves on. What nearly half an hour in. That moves on to the score predictions. I'll go first. Don't want to be negative, Nancy, but I think it's going to be 0-0.
0-0.
0-0.
I think it's going to be 0-0.
It's going to. I think that's my prediction anyway. I think we are going to have a lot of defending to do. A lot of defending to do, and I think it's going to be a ropey 0-0. I hope I'm wrong. But
I'm going to be. I'm going to edge. I know I had that little debate with myself at the beginning about, you know, not being able to be positive, but I'm going to go on my positive side, and I'm going to look for a reversal of the away fixture, and I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1
I fancy Isaac and Almiron getting on the score sheet.
Excellent. Well, I hope your prediction comes right, not mine.
So do I.
Yeah. So there we have it. There's our Liverpool match preview. First YouTube video for All the Pies YouTube channel. We will be doing a vlog on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be doing a vlog, and then probably Sunday we will be doing a review of the Liverpool game, and then next week it will just be all build up to Wembley. To Wembley. We're both going. What time's we're training on Saturday?
It's 10:25.
10:25.
Aye, we'll get the pies in.
Aye, are you excited?
We'll get the pies in. I'm more than excited. I'm excited. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm giddy. Never expected this coming.
No. This soon, anyway. Not this soon.
No, definitely not this soon. Relieved I have a ticket. I know there's lots of people who didn't get tickets, which is, you know, I put myself in as a lucky person to have gotten one. I'll not open that can of worms though. But yeah, can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
You were there the last time we were in a cup final, weren't you?
I've been to Wembley for. I was there for the cup final against Arsenal when we got beat 2-0. I was there for the cup final against Man U when we got beat 2-0. And I was there for the semi-final against Chelsea when we lost 2-1. So I've seen we concede 6 goals and score 1, a Rob Lee header. I'll never forget that moment. So yeah, it's, and you know, like when I think back to those past journeys, like, yeah, there was heartbreak when you didn't win, but that moment when Rob Lee scored is the one thing. Whenever I think, what's my memories of Wembley, that goal. So to experience a goal at Wembley is something different. It's something unique. So hopefully we'll be experiencing that next week.
Oh, I hope so. I bloody hope so. I've never been to Wembley, and I'm more than excited. Let's put it that way. I'm more than excited. But we'll go into all that next week. There will be many videos. We will also do a vlog live from Wembley. If anyone's going to be at Trafalgar Square on the Saturday, look for a big lanky long man and little fat bearded man with my tops off standing next to the fountain. Come over, say hello, be part of the vlog.
Fetch a pie.
But guys, I hope you've enjoyed this first video. If you could please smash the subscribe button, like all the YouTubers say, hit the like button. Apparently, that's good. It helps videos be seen. Go on Twitter, start an argument with someone, and then put our link in the comments. Just wind people up, a bit of shithousery.
And with us being our first video as well, tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see from the channel, what you want more of, less of.
Definitely.
We want this to be your channel as well. So, you know, let's make a community out of it. I got that from the cliches. We want this to be your channel too. Let's make this one for the community.
My channel, man. Reed, thank you everyone, and we'll see you on our match vlog tomorrow. Good luck. I'll see you tomorrow, Kevin.
See you tomorrow, right?
Tatty bye.
Tatty bye.